As a magician, I love finding new magic, learning difficult sleight of hand, and playing with fancy props. As a hobby, that's great, but I want to perform for people, and this means I have to attach words to all that other stuff, which helps give my magic some kind of meaning and makes it worth watching. In this video, I'm going to use a real-world example of a routine I call reflections. You can see the full performance in the timestamps below. So, let's get started. Step 1. Grab a pen and a piece of paper, or open a blank Word document. Well, that was easy. Step 2. Lists. There are two ways to do this. If you already have an idea of what you want to do and what you want to talk about, then start making a list of related words and ideas. When I wrote reflections, I already had an idea of the topic and the magic I wanted to do. The topic was isolation and the magic was water stuck in a glass. So in this case, I wrote down the words water, humans are 70% water, and Bruce Lee, because I remembered a quote of his referring to water. If, on the other hand, you don't have an idea of where to start, then write down the word care at the top, and underneath write a list of 10 things you care about. Don't think about it too much, just make the list. Next, write the word interests and make a list of all the things you find interesting. A neat hack for this is to look at your Netflix recommended list, your YouTube history, and your bookshelf for inspiration. And finally, write the word relevant and make a list of 5 things that are relevant in your life right now. These can be big or small, as long as they mean something to you personally or to the world in this moment. If you want to find out how to have better ideas and more of them, I'll post a link to a video I made about that above somewhere on this video. Step 3. Research. Choose one thing from any of your lists and type it into Google. Read some articles, watch some videos, find out more about it. Make lists of notes as you go along. For this particular routine, I checked out Bruce Lee's quote and the percentage of water humans are actually made up of. This research step does 2 things. It gives you more ideas to add to your notes, and also makes sure that what you're saying is accurate, so when it comes to delivering your script, it comes from a place of confidence which your audience will sense. You also don't want to just make statements up without checking they're true. Step 4. The magic. If you haven't already, start thinking of how these notes can be displayed as magic. Can the use of metaphor be used? Can the magic represent a feeling of the word, or literally display what it is you're talking about? In the reflections routine, I'm using the visuals of water being stuck in a glass as a metaphor for the world being stuck in lockdown, unable to escape, ending with the positive outlook that eventually we'll be back to normal again. This way of thinking is a bit of a knack, and the more you do it, the better you'll get. Step 5. Necessary moments. Now you have the basic idea of your script and the magic to go with it. Next is to perform the magic without the script and write a list of all the things you have to do to accomplish the magic. In this case, I have to have a glass, some water, and a piece of card. I also have to pour the water in the glass, put the card on the mouth of the glass, turn the glass upside down, remove the card, and have the water fall at the end. Step 6. Script the moments. What can I say at these moments which isn't simply narrating what I'm already doing? Here I have a glass. I shall fill the glass with water. Now I'll cover the glass. This is poor scripting. It doesn't tell the audience anything more than what they can already see with their eyes. I'm trying to find other ways to make these moments more meaningful, interesting, or funny with the words. Step 7. Building the script. By this point, you should have a few ideas running around your head. Start building on them and writing notes. Soon, lines will form and paragraphs will gradually be built. This is a difficult step to help with without being directly involved. I found it just to be a naturally organic process. As you play with words and ideas, the structure just starts to find itself. Just be persistent and it will happen, I promise. What I can say is if something isn't working, then don't get too hung up on it. Move on and try something else. You can change the topic and the magic effect halfway through. There are no rules to the creative process, only to keep the momentum rolling. Step 8. The performance test. Once you have something of a rough script, test the words to the performance, checking nothing has been missed. I often find holes which need filling with words or moments that don't make any sense at all. I try to find alternatives and go back to the script. This process is all about trial and error and slowly polishing layer upon layer until your words begin to shine. Step 9. Collaboration. Show someone you trust and respect the script and performance, and tell them what it is you're trying to communicate. See what they got from it, what ideas they have, and be open to changes. The collaboration process is incredibly valuable. I do it all the time and I cannot stress this step enough. Collaborate, collaborate, collaborate. Step 10. Refine. If you have followed every step of this process so far, I guarantee you will have a script by the end of it. It might be good, it might be bad, or it might be a big mess of notes, but you now have something to work with. Keep going and refining what you have, and I promise you will get there. If you stop, I promise you won't. Step 11, go back to step 1. If you've completed all the steps to the best of your ability and you're still met with a page filled with absolute rubbish, simply go back to step 1 and start again. If you found this difficult, keep on doing it and you will get better. And do your best to have fun with it. Allow yourself to write stupid ideas, ridiculous statements, and complete nonsense. Having this kind of freedom unlocks your thinking and you'll have better ideas and more often. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, share it with a friend and let me know how you write your scripts in the comments below. I'd love to find out more. This is a routine I created in lockdown. I proudly present Reflections. We, humans, are made up of over 50% water, all being held in by a thin layer of skin. Bruce Lee told us, if you pour water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Pour water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. Pour it into a teapot, and it becomes the teapot. It can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. During these unprecedented times, we've had to make changes, huge changes to our habits, our routines, and our day-to-day life. Mentally, we all seem to have experienced a reflective state, almost like staring into a river. At first, you notice your own reflection, and how when you move, it moves. And then you notice the passage of the water, almost like a perfect metaphor of the passage of time, and that when we reflect within ourselves, we become the fork in the river, and we hold the power to decide the destination of where we'll see that reflection again. The world has been placed into lockdown, been held by restrictions. Our world has been flipped upside down and turned onto its head, being held together by a thin, delicate layer of trust, respect, and a sense of responsibility and community. It won't last forever. When the time is right and it's safe, I am certain together we will flow like a waterfall. Until next time, in a bit.